People are sending me my face on things.
Oh,
Shout out Cavell for the merch.
Be sure to get your VeVe, Ecomi, and Omi merch at CavellAnderson.com. Our primary line will always be available, while our limited edition section will only ever have 100 items total and will never be sold again. Get it while supplies last. Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another VeVe and Ecomi video. In this one, we are going to be checking out the homie Joe here. He's going to be responding to me and Cody and our opinions on Recur versus VeVe, this whole little conversation. I know some people are be getting upset when I talk about Recur as if VeVe has a reason to hide or try to bury the fact that Recur exists. It's just a difference when you have a superior product. So all the fear that goes around in this community, you need to take, if you're fearful at all, like Gary V, the reason that he won't mention VeVe is fear. He has a reason to be worried about VeVe because his product is inferior. So you should be worried. But if you're in VeVe and you're worried about Recur as competition or something like that, then you should probably just do a little bit more research into it. I know people get upset and offended. Oh, I've done research. I've done this. I've done that. If you're feeling like, I'm not saying you're feeling some type of way, but you know the truth. I don't know you. I don't know if you are, but if you're feeling some type of way, I can tell you right now that you should do a little bit more research. The fact of the matter is Recur has done nothing special. Like the comparisons that's being done, like MySpace versus Facebook is what if VeVe is MySpace and things like that. MySpace had never done anything as crazy as brings multiple of the most powerful IP in human history to something like the blockchain during a time where everyone was calling it a scam. You got Ripple being sued and all types of things, and you still are able to partner with the government. You're able to partner with Disney and things like this. So like those type of comparisons just really doesn't make sense. And then people try to go the diversification angle. Oh, I'm diversifying. This is what smart investors do. I mean, investing in Coca-Cola, investing in RC, investing in 30 other drink companies is not, that does not make that a good investment strategy. It means you don't know which one is going to be successful. And so you're just investing in everything. If you know that you have Coca-Cola, diversification means diversifying out of pop now. Okay, you have the best pop company. Diversify into something else. Diversify into real estate. Diversify into gold. Like, that's diversification, not going into 30 different pop companies and because you didn't do enough research to figure out which one had the best chance of being the most successful. I mean, if you know what you're doing as an investor, you don't have to invest in 30 of the same thing or every single competitor. Like, it's people, when Quid popped out, they start investing in Quid when people knew what Quid was. It's like when Recur pops up, it's people investing in Recur. It's like, you just don't know what you're doing. But like people who actually are going into this with a strategy where they're like, okay, I know Recur is going to pop because Gary V is involved in it and he's going to get this stuff to go. So I'm going to invest in Recur, take those earnings and move it over to something like VeVe. Okay, that's a whole little strategy and plan going into it. But to be painting the narrative that, oh, Recur is VeVe's competition, it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, it's just not really a comparison whatsoever. But yeah, that being said, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications so you stay updated. Let's see what he has to say about this topic because I am interested. And yeah, let's get it.
Welcome back to another video, guys. So today we're going to be talking about the big debate going on within the space right now. We're going to be talking about Recur and VeVe. So Cavell Anderson and Cody Thrive put out a couple videos lately just talking about the pros and cons about VeVe and Recur, and I want to do that as well. And Cavell says that there is no way that Recur can beat VeVe because VeVe has such a big head start with.
I don't think it's a beat type of situation. It's like they're not even competition. Recur isn't on nowhere near the same level. It's like seeing a high schooler with potential and saying that he's going to be Michael Jordan. I mean, could he become Michael Jordan one day? Yeah, but I mean, it's not like Michael Jordan started off with a ton of advantages. It's like completely different, the situation that VeVe is in. It's just a completely different situation. Like what VeVe has done and the position that VeVe is in is something that we have never seen before. It's something more like the level of Apple. Like they were just so revolutionary and changing the game to a point where we have never seen it. Like, when you compare what VeVe is doing, it's on the level of Apple, it's on the level of Amazon and things like this where we've never seen anything like this before. So, yeah.
Within this specific niche within the NFT space, and Cody Thrive says otherwise. I'm here today to say that this space is big enough for two platforms to succeed, and
I mean, I agree that it's big enough for two platforms to succeed, but no one needs another VeVe. If Recur is bringing nothing more to the table but trying to clone VeVe, I mean, it's much more NFT projects that's completely original, have completely original ideas, and those are more likely to succeed than somebody trying to copy VeVe. It does not matter if Gary Vee's involved. So I think that Gary Vee is going to be able to build hype around this project. Doesn't mean he's going to be able to make it super, super successful. That's just the facts about it. Because if he's gonna jump hard and go hard into Recur, how does his V friends, like what does his V friends go in history? If 99% of projects are going to fail and Gary Vee is involved in multiple different projects, chances are at least one of his projects are going to fail as well. Which is it going to be? Is it going to be V Friends that everyone believes in, or is it going to be Recur? If 99% of crypto projects or NFT projects are going to fail, what are the chances that both of Gary Vee succeeds, or even any of his succeeds? It's like you really have to be realistic with this. So, yeah, I mean, you guys just think about it. You got to really think logically about this stuff.
There isn't necessarily a winner and a loser going in within this specific niche. All right, let's get started. First, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of VeVe versus Recur. So, and moving forward, we'll also address some of the things that Cavell and Cody Thrive brought out earlier. So some of the pros and cons of VeVe is that VeVe is a much more established company within this specific niche of NFTs, considering licensed NFTs. Now, VeVe, although it's more established, it's barely been out for a year, and Recur is a lot newer, and they haven't even dropped their licensed NFT yet.
But also, I think the biggest thing is when you compare Recur and VeVe, you have to compare what people are talking about. The conversation about VeVe is how they're doing these amazing things. The NFTs are doing this, like the IPs they're getting and things like this. And they actually secured most of these IP that we're seeing today years ago, like in 2018, before people knew what NFTs were. Like I said, when Ripple was getting sued, when everybody thought Bitcoin was a scam and stuff like this, like they started really securing these deals and stuff during a time where it's very hard to secure a deal. Recur has actually accomplished nothing outside of having Gary Vee. Like, it's not really impressive for Recur to get IP when you have a bunch of NFT projects blowing up and every company is trying to dip their toes into the NFT space. I mean, Gary Vee should be able to secure some deals using his reputation with NFTs and the fact that NFTs are blowing up. He should be able to secure these quick deals. It's a lot more impressive when everyone is against NFTs or everyone is against crypto and things like that, and you're still able to pull people at the level of Disney. It's just a whole different level to what's being done. Like, everything being done from VeVe is visionary status. Everything being done from Recur, copycat status. Like I said, there's still money to be made from Recur. If you have a strategy, you're using Recur to rack up bank, okay, cool. But if you're if you're banking on Recur being the next VeVe, I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath personally, but I mean, to each his own. Your investment strategy is yours. Your life is your financial responsibility. That's all on you.
Moving forward, the ease of use of VeVe is much more easy compared to Recur, because
we don't even know how easy Recur is going to be because they have nothing. They have nothing to show for it. But yeah, we do know it's a little bit more complicated. You need a whole pass and everything. You got these barriers to entry. Like, even for you to get access to stuff, it costs a ton of money. So it's like they're instantly creating they're taking mass adoption off the table for themselves. Yeah.
You can buy NFTs on the VeVe platform without having a Ethereum account or Ethereum wallet. I mean, without having to jump through a specific hoops and hurdles in order for you to acquire said NFTs. You can just buy it with your credit card on your smartphone. and also VeVe's community. VeVe has well over 1 million users, active users within the app, and they're approaching 2 million. So VeVe has a strong community behind them. So I say all of this to point out the fact that we are comparing a company that just started, which is Recur, compared to a company that is a lot more established and had a longer head start, a wider head start compared to Recur. But that having a head start within a specific niche, within a specific space, doesn't necessarily guarantee success.
It does though, because this is history being made right here. When you realize the impact of NFTs and the first company being able to bring NFT IP NFTs to the blockchain during the time that it did, it's just, that's something that we will never see happen again. There is no company that can ever do that for the first time again. What Recur is doing is copying what VeVe has already made history doing. If you're gonna write who brought IP to the world in a history book, VeVe is already who you're going to be writing about. You're going to be writing about the visionary that saw this technology coming a mile away. No one's going to be talking about the people who saw VeVe and then like come on now, like no one's like, VeVe is already solidified. Like VeVe is solidified. It's just, this is not the same as comparing like a MySpace to Facebook. What VeVe has done is much more impactful than MySpace ever was. Like it just is. People that just don't realize it yet. But what VeVe has done is legendary. Can't be compared.
And within this specific niche, within the NFT space, there's only two prominent companies that are really putting out this sort of market within the NFT space, and that is Recur and VeVe. This is a growing space that is only going to get bigger as the years go by, and there is more than enough room for two companies to thrive. So that's basically my criticism of this, basically this whole comparison between VeVe and Recur.
Saying that okay, Recur is the second, so it's more than enough room for it to thrive. I mean, there's more than enough room for multiple companies to thrive. But a company coming out after VeVe with your whole strategy seeming to be copying VeVe and having no real direction or no real idea that actually sets you apart, you're genuinely just doing what VeVe is doing and trying to do some things different and some things better. And thinking that just because they're in the IP game, because they can use Gary V's name to get these deals closed, it's like, it's not the same thing. Because if you have to have a Gary V in order to make things happen, to make things shake, what happens when the big crash in the NFT space comes and everybody's scared? Gary V hasn't proven that he can succeed in the NFT space when everyone's scared and a massive crash comes. Like VeVe, when this stuff was looking bad, is when VeVe was securing deals. Gary V, on the other hand, he came throughout a boom where everybody's looking to jump into NFTs, and he's been able to secure some deals. Cool. You can secure deals when everything is looking perfect, but can you do the same thing when no one, like, it's just different. Like, one is proven, the other one is just still starting out. You're trying to see what it's actually capable of. But I have seen nothing impressive enough from this. I've seen nothing impressive enough from Recur for it to be even being compared to VeVe whatsoever, to be honest. Like, outside of the fact that the Recur has secured some IP, the way that the IP was secured is very important as well. Just having IP does not mean anything.
So let's talk about
Quid
the
had
pros
IP
and cons
a lot.
of Recur. So the pros of Recur is that the fact that it is mainly NFT based. It's NFT based, being that the way they work is more closely related to how platforms like OpenSea works, where in order for you to buy a NFT within the platform, you have to have a crypto wallet such as Ethereum or Polygon.
So I don't see how this is being considered a pro. because that you basically has to cut out the ability for like really the biggest flaw and reason why most projects is going to fail can't be mass adopted. This is what you're calling a pro. The fact that it's limiting itself like most other projects are, and it's not understandable, not easy for beginners to jump into and just easy to adopt. It's the fact is things in life, it's not about getting harder, it's about getting easier. You need stuff that's simple, more simplified, not having to take the time to create a wallet over there, then connect that over there, then come back over here. Like you download an app, you can get what you want from that app. VeVe makes it so simple, and that is the future we're moving into. Making things overcomplicated is just not it. That's the difference between, like, this is why Apple took the approach that it did. It was a point in time where to use a computer, you had to type everything out on a command line. It was too complicated. Apple made it so you can click something and there you go. You open it up and you're using something. Something is happening just with a simple click, and you can fully understand it and it's easy. That's the difference. Something that's more traditional NFT based, I'm even more skeptical that it'll ever succeed, because the world is not moving into more complicated things. It's more complicated technologies, but it's simplified to the consumer, and that's what sets VeVe apart.
In order for you to purchase said NFTs, now this is going to cater more to the OG NFT community as opposed to the VeVe community, because
but this OG community, once the OG style starts becoming obsolete, which it will, just like personal computers and things like that. Like it was probably people who loved the old command line and stuff like that and thought they would never switch over and all of that. But it's going to come a point in time where everyone who's on this old style is going to switch over to the more simplified style. That's just the world we're moving into. So this being NFT focused is not a pro. It's a con, in my opinion.
The ease of use is much harder and is more in line with the bigger NFT platforms within the NFT space, like OpenSea. Another pro of Recur is the fact that their licensed NFTs isn't exactly like VeVe. So they're catering to another community in another space. So some of their license includes like Hello Kitty, SpongeBob.
That's the exact same type of stuff that's on VeVe. Cartoon Network, the exact same thing as SpongeBob. It's a cartoon. They also have Back to the Future, which VeVe also has. That's literally an exact same license as VeVe. Obviously, they can't do the same things that VeVe can do with that license, but yeah, they have Back to the Future as well. Like this, they're literally following the same lanes as VeVe. They're trying to do the same things, and more than likely, VeVe also has some of these that Recur has dropped. They just have not revealed it yet. The stuff that Recur is being flashy about having, yeah, more than likely VeVe has some of these already secured, especially Hello Kitty, since Alfred Kahn is behind most of the success for that project. Like, I mean, yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Another Alfred Kahn one. If you look at Recur's list, Al Kahn, his impact on these projects that Recur has, like you can say VeVe more than likely has these already.
And most collegiate schools like Pac-12 with the NFT University platform, and also things like Star Trek. One of the things that's similar with Recur and VeVe is the Star Trek NFT. So
was it the Star Trek? I thought they was the one with like a DeLorean. Maybe that's a different project I'm thinking about, but I knew it was something that they had.
Specific catering to that specific community is different from VeVe, and I see that as a plus because they're bringing in a different fan group, a different fan base compared to VeVe, as opposed to them trying to pluck VeVe's fan base and bring in VeVe's community.
It's still pretty much the same fan base in my opinion, because all of these brands and stuff, it's people who like, I like Powerpuff Girls. I grew up on Powerpuff Girls, but I also grew up on SpongeBob. I also grew up on Rugrats. I grew up on, Hello Kitty was big, and I know understand the impact of Hello Kitty. I would like some Hello Kitty NFTs and things like that as well. So it's pretty much the same fan base if you ask me. Yeah, in my opinion. But obviously more crypto people are going to be, well, depending on how fast Recur is able to actually get their stuff out, because they're more than likely going to run into problems that VeVe already has solutions for. They don't, like, VeVe has answers to things that Recur doesn't even know to ask yet. So just like how VeVe had setbacks, more than likely Recur is going to run into a lot of those as well. So yeah,
having similar licenses as VeVe, which they don't. So I see that as a plus. And okay, so let's talk about a con of Recur. The con of Recur is the fact that their ease of use is a lot harder compared to VeVe, and their Recur isn't focused on the collector aspect compared to VeVe as of now, because they started off with a NFT that they created as opposed to dropping a licensed NFT first.
so Recur is just coming out with IP as their selling point. What's the plan for the NFTs? What makes these NFTs special? What's the utility? What's going to be valuable and different that we have never seen in the NFT space that Recur is actually doing? Like, are they going to have a metaverse? But even if they do, that's not original. That's not. And how is the metaverse going to be? What's the goal for the metaverse? Because it's not about collectors or collecting. So it's not going to be a vision as vivid as David used. So what exactly is the selling point of Recur? That's important. That's important to know.
Being the licenses they have as like Hello Kitty or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. So that's one of the cons of Recur. But like I said, Recur is a newly established company within the space. They're going to continue to grow. And this comparison between VeVe and Recur, I don't think is necessarily warranted, because you're comparing two things that aren't two people are comparing two things that aren't necessarily trying to capture the same specific market.
I think they're trying to capture the exact same market. Recur is literally copying VeVe. Like, even the rarities of their passes is similar to VeVe. Like, Recur is literally trying to copy VeVe and capture the same market. It's trying to be seen as a competitor. So if they weren't trying to be seen as a competitor, Gary Vee would not be pretending he doesn't know what VeVe is after he's had meetings and things with the company. Like, it's just like, this is why when VeVe's involved, Gary Vee always looks weird and shaky, and he's saying things that make no sense when VeVe is brought up. Like, this is why. This is the only time I've ever seen Gary Vee like this as well. So yeah.
I believe that VeVe is catering to a lot different market compared to Recur. Alrighty, to wrap this up, basically, I'm gonna give a bit of criticism towards Cavell, basically trying to shut down Recur and saying that it's basically no match for VeVe, and basically putting a lot of negative criticism towards the Recur platform, which I don't
think that it's negative if it's true. It's not about it being negative. It's the fact. You sit, and a lot of people coming out here saying, oh, it's new, it's going to be a competitor to VeVe and things like this. It's trying to be a competitor to VeVe, but it's just not. They're not qualified to even be mentioned as a competitor. They're just not.
Necessarily buy that, because Recur is a newly established company. Like I said, you can't necessarily compare it to VeVe, but outright trying to shut it down and say that, oh, it's not necessarily going to succeed, and it's just a company that Gary Vee went to in order for because Gary Vee couldn't get with the VeVe company and everything like that. I think that's BS. No hate to Cavell, but
yeah, but it's like, it's not, you're not following facts for any of this though. Like, that's the thing. You're not following facts. It's like he had a meeting with VeVe that didn't go over well. then he went and he partners with Recur, like, and tries to, they bring IP, they try to basically do what VeVe's doing, using their same rarity system and things like this. And yeah, it's like, this are you not watching what they're doing? And then saying they're going after different audiences and things like that, when in reality they're going after the same audience. Like, just because SpongeBob is a different cartoon, it doesn't mean that it's not a cartoon. Like, VeVe brought cartoon NFTs to the blockchain, the IP'd cartoon NFTs. What Recur has is another form of cartoon IPs. They have Star Trek, the exact same as VeVe. I mean, they're going after the same type of IP as VeVe. Like, that's, you know, it's not much. I think that everything that I have said is very valid. It's everything that I said is valid. It's just it's not really emotional or anything like that. It's not a feeling. It's facts.
I think maybe he needs to do a little bit more research regarding Recur.
Sounds to me like you might need to do a little bit more research. I don't even care about Recur, and I can tell these things.
But yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on everything that Cavell has put out regarding Recur. And I do admit that he has said some positive things, a very few amount of positive things regarding Recur.
It's not much positive to say about a company that's coming out just trying to be another company. Like, regardless of what the narratives that you all want to paint because you're uneducated on being able to tell, like I said, I'm not investing in 30 of the same type of companies because I don't know which one is going to be the winner. If you want to trick yourself into thinking a new company coming out trying to copy an established company is competition, I mean, go for it. But the thing is, some things are just flip only. Other things are an investment. Recur, in my opinion, is flip only. If you make that your investment, if you want to make Recur your livelihood and you believe that it's going to be that level of a project, go for it. Time will tell. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. Go for it, and I wish you the best.
But that's neither here or there. Let's talk about Cody Thrive, I believe, his sentiment about Recur. I know some of his videos he put out was basically clickbait, talking about is Recur going to be a VeVe killer? That's not happening. Like I said, the space is big enough for two companies. VeVe doesn't necessarily have to watch out for Recur because, like I said, these two companies are targeting very different specific markets.
I don't think so. I think that the market that's going to be good on that's going to be on OpenSea and stuff like that, interoperability is the only thing that has stopped them from coming on VeVe right now. The interoperability, the not real NFTs and things like this, they're targeting the exact same market. They're targeting the exact same market. It's just VeVe has locked out certain markets as they're trying to develop their platform and get it to where it needs to be to support these partnerships with these other markets and platforms and things like that. So yeah, I think that your understanding of what's actually being targeted here, it's kind of flawed.
You know, if you look at the licenses of Recur's licenses is a lot different compared to VeVe. There's the possibility of you getting a license. Just in general, the amount of licenses that are out there, it's just, there's so much. There's so many different markets in order for you to target. That's the beauty of NFTs. The possibilities are basically endless. There's so many markets in this world in order for a NFT platform to target. And that's why I believe this specific niche of licensed NFTs is what's going to bring forth this longevity of NFTs, as opposed to a company just having their own project out there and creating their own NFT project in terms of like their own NFT artwork. In terms of that, I don't necessarily see longevity in that. That's why I believe what these two companies are bringing within the NFT space is really gonna just improve the longevity of NFTs. And of the 98% of NFT companies that are out there right now, only 2% are gonna be relevant within the next 5 years. And of those of that 2%, I see Recur and VeVe being in there.
You just have not seen anything better than Recur outside of VeVe. Like this, if another visionary comes up with a plan and a strategy that's more likely to compete with VeVe, Recur Recur drops down any list the second anybody with an actual plan and vision comes out doing the same thing, just coming out with IP. Like the second that someone with a real vision and real direction comes out, because right now there's no benefit for a company, from a company's perspective, to go with Recur over VeVe. VeVe just brings much more to the table. I mean, Gary V is popping right now, but the fact of the matter is, once these projects go down, of course, Gary V is going to talk about how he was telling everybody that these projects was going to fail. But look at, more than likely, one of his projects are going to fail as well, if not both. So, I mean, the projects that Gary V's in, we have to really talk about how many of his is actually going to fail, how many of his investments are going to fail. He's out here talking about how he just puts money everywhere to see what sticks. It's very realistic that we could see both of his projects fail. So, I mean, that being said, let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. I'm gonna end it here. Be sure to check him out if you want to see more of his content. I mean, it was interesting to say the least, but I mean, I don't feel like this. You're very knowledgeable about what you're talking about, to be completely honest. I really don't feel like I don't feel like this video made a lot of sense. I feel like this is just a devil's advocate for why Recur is going to be a great project. And in reality, it's just has done nothing impressive. Like, it's just weird to be fighting for a company that has brought nothing to the table. People are making money, and you're more than likely one of the people who bought the pass when it was low, and now the pass is blowing up a little bit. So you're making a little bit of money, and now you're blinded by the dollar signs. But I think big picture. It's all about the big picture for me. I don't care about the short-term blow up of things like this, because if you knew how to invest on VeVe, you would have the same result, but just all the time. So yeah, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Drop the thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications so you stay updated. And yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Peace out, y'all.